So, hey guys, it's that time of the month again. So, today we're going to be going over every single new card that has been added in the new selection pack. So, let's start. Galatea, uh, what is this? An L? A 1? Okay. Galatea, the Orcust Automaton, fires either one Orcust or one World Legacy monster, link 1. Hmm. So for Orcust, this is pretty obvious what you could do with this. So you could use this on top of every single Orcust monster, apparently. So we could do this over Dingirsu, I guess. We could summon this on top of just about everything, right? For World Legacy, though, I'm not really 100% sure what you could do this over. Well, actually, is Lib a World Legacy monster? Well, no, it gets you into a World Legacy monster, actually. So this card is pretty crazy for, I think, Mech Knight, that this would be pretty useful for, maybe. Adding any World Legacy monster? That's probably useful, honestly. And if this is a Link 1, this would, well, if you could Link 1 and just summon on top of Lib, then this would just trigger Lib by itself. And that's actually not that bad. Huh. Well, let's check real quick. Lib the World Legacy Guardian Keyblade something. I don't know. What was this card called again? World Keyblade Master. Ah, that's the name of the card. The World Keyblade Master. That doesn't have the words World Legacy on it, does it? But I guess what you could do is you could make Lib afterwards, which would be pretty decent, I suppose. So, okay, that's not bad, honestly. The location you're able to add from here is from, um, you can send one card from your hand to the graveyard, add one World Legacy monster or one orchestrated babble from your deck or graveyard to your hand. That could be useful in the long term. And there's also the effect here where you bash one other Orcust card from your graveyard special summon this card, so that's Orcust exclusive. So I don't quite remember every single World Legacy monster at the moment, but should still be pretty useful of an effect. And actually, now that I think about it, since this is a Orcust Link monster, can you not summon Dingirsu on top of this? I'm pretty sure you should be able to, right? So now you can essentially convert like a Harpor on the board into Dingirsu, which is pretty crazy. If you can do that, I guess. Is Dingirsu here? No. Alright then. And Lil Girsu, the Orcust Mech Knight. 2+ monsters including an Orcust Link monster. So it has to be a Link monster specifically. So you cannot use Dingirsu for this. Which is weird, but okay. Why a Link monster specifically? Huh. You can target one of your banished Orcust or World Legacy cards, add it to your hand. This doesn't specify monster. Interesting. Then you can shuffle one card from your hand into the deck and take control of one face-up monster your opponent controls. So, technically, these effects can become quick effects. Does this matter? Because of Babel, right? Send one card from your hand to the graveyard as a quick effect. And then head one World Legacy monster or one orchestrated Babel from your deck graveyard to your hand. Banish one other Orcust card from your graveyard. That doesn't specify, actually, monster now that I think about it. Oh yeah, we can use relay cards to check Dinker's, right? Using an Orcust Link monster you control as material. Yeah, that just works. Okay. And then there are a bunch of different World Legacy cards here. I believe one of the better ones would be like World Armor is pretty solid. And World Armor actually has decent synergy with World Wand. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can special summon a World Legacy card, World Legacy monster from your hand, and then there are actually a few decent targets to search. I believe there should be an Omni Negate actually somewhere. Don't remember which one it was though. It's not Crescendo. Let's see. World Legacy's Sorrow. Well, you control co-linked monsters, the condition for this Omni, which is super easy to do. You just need, like, either Galatea, I suppose, or whatever monster pointing to just one other monster, and that counts as co-linked. Link to Galatea is good for this because it cannot be destroyed by battle, I guess. Like, pretty decent in that regard. This is searchable. So technically, if we don't want to play Babel, we can go Galatea 1 here, or whatever this card is. Is that an L? Galatea 1, Galatea L? Whatever. Okay, World Legacy Sorrow. Grab this, link into Galatea, the Orcust Automaton. And then, presumably at some point you'll have enough match cards for Crescendo. And then hopefully trigger both? I guess. Alright. So this is a non-targeting Snatch Steal type effect. Is that permanent? Enter. And you can shuffle one card from your hand into the deck and take control of one face of monster your opponent controls. Oh, so this effect is only activatable, right? If... Wait, this is optional. So you can just add a card from your... Yeah, you just add a banished card. It has to be specifically banished, though. And then you can shuffle one card from your hand into the deck, take control of one face of monster your opponent controls. Okay. During your main phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was sent there from the extra monster zone this turn, you can bash this card, send one card on the field to the graveyard. I have no idea how you're supposed to do this effect, honestly. But this is also a non-target send. Has to be sent from the extra monster zone specifically and on the current turn. How would this hit the graveyard exactly? In terms of Orcust cards, I can't think of anything that would do that on your opponent's turn, and that matters for specifically Babel, because you would probably kind of want to do this on the opponent's turn, I suppose. Alright, Disaster, Dragon Ruler of all Apocalypses. 2 rank 7 monsters. Wait, what? Huh? You want to use 2 rank 7 monsters to make this? So that's essentially 4 level 7 monsters. Okay. This card is XYZ summon you can target up to 4 level 7 Dragon Ruler monsters in graveyard inner banishment, attach them to this card, then you bash all monsters from your opponent's field and graveyard with the same attribute as this card's materials. So it cannot banish spells or traps, I guess. Okay. You can only use this effect of Disaster Dragon Ruler of all Apocalypses once per turn, while this card has Light, Dark, Earth, Water, Fire, and Wind Dragon Ruler monsters as material. So you have to have every single Dragon Ruler attached to this basically to gain this effect. Gains 4,600 attack / defense. Also, it is unaffected by other card effects. Wait, that means you need Eclipse and Chasma over here as well. So you have to use these two specifically to make this. And those guys are also they're also new. Wow. Okay. Sure. it kind of just becomes a towers and does not too much else. Is that on XYZ summon though? Yeah, it's on XYZ summon, so maybe you could do this with some Armored XZ stuff to summon this on your opponent's turn, and this is a trigger, right? Yeah. Okay. Arcostar's Adventurous Arian. Once per turn, you can also XYZ summon Arcostar's Adventurous Arian by using one Arcostar's monster you control. So it's basically a fake XYZ summon where you're doing a Zodiac type XYZ summon. You're able to do that, I guess. If this card is XYZ summon, you can add one Arcostar spell from your deck to your hand. What Arcostar spells do you have? During the standby phase, you can detach two materials from this card. Wait, what? If you use one material, you have one material, so that doesn't work. And this is during either standby phase. Okay. Detach two materials from this card, place up to three Argus. Wait, what? Place up to three Argus stars, continuous traps from your graveyard face up, and your spawn drops down. Uh, okay. I'm just dying a little bit here, but okay. So you can play. Does it say different names even? No. They have to be from the graveyard though. Okay. And then this affects a special summon this, and then you have this other effect on the field. So that this can trigger stadium. Wait, what? So the idea here I think is to go like Adra, and then you set whatever, and then these traps also count as Arcostar monsters. So this doesn't fix the horrendous choke point you have on Adra then. Oh, okay. Actually, wait. Does this help at all? This makes Giant Slaying searchable. I guess if you get like specifically impermed, you could summon a second Adra and then activate this Adra. I guess. Okay. Ancient Fairy Life Dragon. If this card is synchro summoned, you can draw one card, or if World of Spirits is on the field, add one light monster, beast, plant, or fairy, or one Eternal Sunshine from your deck to your hand instead. Huh. You can only use this effect of Ancient Fairy Life Dragon once per turn. Your Ancient Fairy Dragon and monsters that mention it can attack while in face-up defense position. What? Okay. That's the most surprising effect on that. When this card is activated, you can add one monster that mentions Ancient Fairy Dragon from your deck to your hand. You can only activate the following effects while you control a level 7 or higher Light Dragon Synchro monster. Each time a monster is special summoned in attack position, change it to defense position. Once per turn during den phase, destroy all attack position monsters on the turn player's field. Wait, what? This would destroy your own monsters as well? I didn't see protection on that earlier card. Oh, okay, I guess. Well, we'll look at the rest of those cards later. Alright. Ame no Murakamo no Mitsurugi. You can ritual summon this card with Mitsurugi Ritual. So Mitsurugi Ritual is mentioned on this, so you can pre-prep for it, I guess. If this card is special summoned, you can destroy all monsters your opponent controls. When your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you can activate this effect. Your opponent can discard one card or that effect is negated. Actually, now that I think about pre-prep, it has to mention the monster on the card, not the monster mentioning the card or something. I don't know, 100% remember. Alright, whatever. Okay, you can activate this effect. Your opponent can discard one card where that effect is negated. So this is just really annoying, because this is if your opponent activates anything, right? Then they have the option to discard a card, or the effect is negated. So if I were to use Ash Blossom Joy Spring, I would have to pitch another card from my hand, or that Ash Blossom would be negated, for example, against this card. And then there is the idea of, I guess, the fact that this is once per turn. And then if your opponent actually doesn't even have cards to discard, then they can't. Like, this is just an Omni negate if they have no cards. Hmm. If this card is tributed, you can add one Mitsurugi card from your deck to your hand, except for Ame, no Murakamo, no Mitsurugi. Then you can special summon this card. Hmm. Okay, I guess. Ame no Habakiri no Mitsurugi. You can ritual summon this with Mitsurugi Ritual. Monsters your opponent controls lose 800 attack just for existing. Sucks to be a Blackwing player, I guess. You can reveal this card in your hand, special summon one Mitsurugi monster from your deck, then tribute one monster you control. You can only use this effect if Ame no Habakiri no Mitsurugi once per duel. Reveal this card in hand, special summon a Mitsurugi monster from your deck, then tribute one monster you control. And this is all in sequence, so you can't imprint this. Wow, that's kind of disgusting. If this card is tributed, you can add one Mitsurugi card from your deck to your hand. Then you can special summon this card, so that's optional. So technically, you can use this as tribute fodder and it'll add you a card. But if you were to properly summon this and then use it as fodder, you get an extra body. Not sure if this really matters because this doesn't really have a super good effect. And then that's good old classic Gearsu. Alright. Dark Magician Girl, the Magician's Apprentice. You can only special summon this card from your hand by discarding one card, and if you do, this card's name becomes Dark Magician Girl. You can only special summon Dark Magician Girl, the Magician's Apprentice, once per turn this way. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can add one Shining Sarcophagus from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect of Dark Magician Girl, the Magician's Apprentice, once per turn. Gain 300 attack for each monster that mentions Shining Sarcophagus in the graveyards. So it seems like this card is only exclusively useful for Shining Sark getting a little bit of a consistency boost. But I mean, if you think about this card, it's actually pretty good. So like let's think of it this way. I mean, it's not 100% going to work out, but if it were to come up, we have the idea of special summoning Dark Magician Girl here. And this grabs us Shining Sarcophagus, which has the effect to add a card that mentions Shining Sark, which means we can then go grab Gandara G. And then we could just go Gandara G effect to more or less nuke the field. Which, I mean, like, going second, that's not entirely terrible. So that's something, I guess. Mitsurugi no Makoto Aramasa. So before we continue reading what this card does, 3 URs. Yeah, just put that out there. But alright, continuing. If this card is normal or special summon, or this card is tributed, you can add one Mitsurugi monster from your deck to your hand, except for Mitsurugi no Mikoto Aramasa. If another reptile monster you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can tribute this card instead. So this doesn't seem to get you anywhere at the moment. Mitsurugi Prayers. Wait, is this a card or a monster? Monster. So you can't add this, okay. And also, another UR number 4. When you activate this card, you can also tribute one reptile monster in your hand or field. Apply one of these effects, or if you tribute a monster at activation, you can apply both effects in sequence. Add one Mitsurugi monster from your deck to your hand, take 800 damage, but then you can special summon one Mitsurugi monster from your hand or graveyard, but cannot attack directly. They said hard once per turn, right? Yeah, okay. Wait. If another monster you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can tribute this card instead. That doesn't even protect you against Raigeki. This effect's kind of useless, right? Or wait, is the wording weird enough that this does work? If another would be destroyed, you can tribute this card instead. Well, it doesn't really mention itself. I don't know how that works, honestly. I feel like that might be able to protect against Raigeki. Ugh, I'd have to reread some card effects to compare. Alright. 7 stars slash Army Annihilator Hagen. What? Okay, one face-up monster you control, equip it with one level 7 monster with the same type, but a different name from your hand or deck as an equipped soul that gives a 700 attack, but return that equipped soul to the hand during the end phase. When your opponent's level slash rank 8 or higher monster is destroyed by battle while this card is in your graveyard, you can add this card to your hand. What? That's weird. What deck is supposed to use this? It has to be the same type, but a different name. Uh, the only thing I can think of at the moment that can play this is like Ishtira. Or maybe Regenesis? Okay. New Link 2. Ukano Mitsune no Onari. Your opponent cannot target cards in the field zones with card effects. Okay. I don't think that type of effect is particularly new. You can only use each of the following effects of Ukano Mitsune no Onari once per turn. If this card is linked some... Oh, man. If this card is Link Summon, you target one quick play spell in your graveyard, set it. If this card is destroyed, for each card in a field zone, you can apply one of these effects. If both, apply them in sequence. Destroy one card your opponent controls. Inflict 1,500 damage to your opponent. Ah, this effect here. Don't really like this one. And the fact that it's only a Link 2, the only thing about this is it requires a beast monster, so if I see a way to play this, I'm not going to be super happy about it. Alright. Kesma, Dragon Ruler of Auroras. Quick effect, you can send one level 7 Dragon Ruler monster from your deck to the graveyard and detach one material from this card. This effect becomes that sent monster's effect that discards itself to activate. Not really sure about all the Dragon Ruler effects, but that seems decent for Dragon Ruler support, I guess. If this card is destroyed by battle, or if this card is on its possession destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can special summon a Dragon Ruler monster from your graveyard or banishment. I don't think they have on summon effects, do they? If this card is XYZ zone, you can target one level 4 or lower Dragon Ruler monster in your graveyard. Banishment, special summon a level slash rank 7 Dragon Ruler monster that is mentioned on that targeted monster from your deck or banishment. Then shuffle the targeted monster into the deck. So the lower level guy gets shuffled back, and you special summon a level 7 slash rank 7 guy. Okay. And then shuffle the target monster into the deck. Because of the order, you could actually kind of cheat and do something with that lower level Dragon Ruler, and this would still resolve. That's kind of freaky, I guess. When your opponent activates a spell slash trap card or effect, quick effect, you can detach 2 materials from this card to negate activation. If you do, banish that card. Negate a spell trap and banish. This is also a quick effect. Okay. Utsu no Mitama no Mitsurugi. You can ritual summon this with Mitsurugi ritual. They all say this. Okay. If your opponent special summons a monster, except during the damage step, you can target one reptile monster in your graveyard except Futsu no Mitama no Mitsurugi, special summon it. Okay, you can only activate this effect of Futsu no Mitami no Mitsurugi once per chain. Concerning. If this card is tributed, you can add one Mitsurugi card from your deck to your hand. So this can add any card, but it's a ritual monster. So that's strange. This is hard once per turn on it. Okay. Mitsurugi no Mikoto Saji. This card is normally special sign, or if this card is tribute, you can add one Mitsurugi spell slash trap from your deck to your hand. Okay, if another reptile monster you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can tribute this card instead. Are these all reptiles? And they're also level 4, so you make King of the Feral Imps. no lock, so you could technically also go Rise combo, couldn't you? Hmm. What's this do again? Add a Mitsurugi monster. Huh. Okay. Wonko, Noble Knight of the Forest. If this card is normal special summon, you can add one Fairy Tale Prologue Journey's Dawn from your deck to your hand, or if Fairy Tale Prologue Journey's Dawn is in your field or graveyard, you draw one card instead. While a card is in a field zone, your opponent's monsters cannot target monsters for attacks except this one. When this card is destroyed by battle, you can make the monster that destroyed it lose 500 attack. Okay. Regulus, the Fairy Beast. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add one spell/trap that mentions Ancient Fairy Dragon from your deck to your hand. During your main phase, you can special summon one level 4 or lower light monster, beast plant, or fairy from your hand in defense position. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one field spell in your graveyard, place it on the bottom of the deck, then draw one card. Okay. And these are beast monsters. And they're also light monsters. For Onari here. Yuki. Spectral Dragon Ruler of Flickers. You can discard this card and one dragon or light monster. Add 2 Dragon Ruler monsters from your deck to your hand. Wait, isn't that really good? Hmm. You can banish from your graveyard this card and one dragon or light monster, then target one Kesma, Dragon Ruler of Auroras in your graveyard, special summon it. Oh. Does this need to detach or something? Yeah, it does. So what does summoning this back even do? Confusion. Nebulous, Dragon Ruler of Mishaps. You can discard this card and one dragon or attack monster, then target 2 of your banished Dragon Ruler monsters with different attributes, except Nebulous. Special summon them, but they cannot attack this turn. You can banish from your graveyard this card and one dragon or dark monster, then target one Eclipse Dragon Ruler of Catastrophes in your graveyard, special summon it. This only triggers on XYZ summon, right? Otherwise, this does nothing, because you need to be able to detach materials from it. Yeah, I don't get it. NT 8000 Sirius. This linked card cannot be destroyed by battle. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. During turn, a link monster's effect was activated. Quick effect, you can target one face-up card you control and one face-up card your opponent controls, destroy both. Oh. That's a little bit interesting. If this card is sent to the graveyard except from the field, and you control a Dark Link monster, you can special summon this card but banish it when it leaves the field. Huh. Strange. Yeah, this card is not that useful, is it? So this has to be sent to the graveyard basically, and then you also have to control a Dark Link monster, and then you have to open this card. I mean, Kaibaman the Legend. If this card is normal or special summon, you can show 3 Blue-Eyes White Dragons in your hand, deck, face up, field, and or graveyard, then special summon 1 Blue-Eyes White Dragon from your hand, deck, or graveyard. If you special summon Blue-Eyes White Dragon, wait, you have to play 3 Blue-Eyes White Dragon for this? Okay, but moving on. If you special summon a Blue-Eyes White Dragon while this card is in your graveyard, except during the damage step, you can banish this card, add 1 Blue-Eyes monster from your deck to your hand. What constitutes a Blue-Eyes monster? Dictator B. That doesn't count. Only these guys count. The guys that actually specifically say Blue Eyes. Okay. Mitsurugi Ritual. This card can be used to ritual summon any reptile ritual monster. Okay. Activate one of these effects, but you can only use each effect of Mitsurugi Ritual once per turn. You're telling me you can use this twice then? Okay. Ritual summon one ritual reptile ritual monster from your deck by attributing monsters from your hand or field whose total levels equal the level of the ritual monster. Ritual summon one reptile ritual monster from your hand by attributing up to 2 reptile monsters from your hand, deck, or field whose total levels equal the level of the ritual monster. Excuse me, what the? So you're telling me I can tribute two guys from my deck and then trigger it, trigger both of them to search? Is this even ashable? I don't remember tributing a monster from the deck being listed in Ash Blossom Joyous Spring, so I guess not. Oh wow. Wow. So let's assume I immediately just Mitsurugi Ritual, and then I try to add some cards here, and I summon specifically we'll go with like this guy. Then if you Ash, you go -2 immediately. Well, that's something. Fairy Tale Prologue Journey's Dawn. Any battle damage a player takes is halved if you control a light beast monster or level 7 or 8. Dragon Secret monster, you can draw one card. That effect is card once per turn. During your standby phase, you can send this card from your field zone to the graveyard. Place one field spell from your hand or deck face up in your field zone, except for Fairy Tale Prologue Journey's Dawn. This is optional. Okay. And then you have World of Spirits. So you're supposed to use this and then go into World of Spirits, and then you have the destruction effect. Is that the idea here? Oh wait, no. Because if you do tag out for World of Spirits, and this has to be during your standby phase. Wait, what? And then this would still be activated on your own turn. Wait, what? Eternal Sunshine. Monsters you control gain 500 defense for each Ancient Fairy Dragon and monsters that mention it that you control. That's like kind of an attack point increase. Once per chain, you target one face-up monster your opponent controls until the end of this turn. Its attack defense become halved. Also, its effects are negated. This doesn't work against Yubel, does it? You can't halve 0, can you? You can use this effect of Eternal Sunshine a number of times per turn, up to the number of Ancient Fairy Dragon and monsters that mention it that you control. So this is like Apollosa at home, basically. That's what I'm getting so far. Apollosa type effect. Okay. Mitsurugi no Makoto Kusanagi. If this card is no special summon tribute, you can target one Mitsurugi card in your graveyard or banishment, add it to your hand. If another reptile monster you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can tribute this card instead. Bat the Forest Ninja. Oh, if a face-up card is in a field zone, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon Bat the Forest Ninja once per turn this way. If this card is normally special summon and Fairy Tale Prologue Journey's Dawn is in your field or graveyard, you can add one light beast monster from your deck to your hand. Okay. Crimson Firewing Pegasus. If your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, it can attack directly this turn. Only this turn, okay. When your opponent activates a monster effect on the field, quick effect, you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to the chain link number of this effect times 300. Also, this card cannot be destroyed by effects activated before this one in this chain. Seems kind of terrible, honestly. Uka no Mitsune no Tamayura. If you control level 4 or lower light beast plant or fairy monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. Monster that was synchro summoned using this card as material against these effects gain 500 defense. Your opponent can not target this defense position card with card effects. Oh. This card might be the card I was just looking for. This deserves its own video, so we'll go into that later. Alright. Here, there be dragons. Special summon one dragon ruler monster from your hand, graveyard, or banishment, then immediately after this effect resolves, you can XYZ summon one dragon ruler XYZ monster using only dragon ruler monsters you control. I don't think this is searchable. I don't see any way to search this, but if you have access to this, that's the intended way to XYZ summon that one dragon ruler, I guess. During your main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target any number of your bad dragon ruler monsters with different attributes, return them to the graveyard. That effect's also useful, I guess. Mitsurugi Magatama. Quick effect. During the main phase, activate one of these effects. Tribute one reptile monster, then target one face-up card your opponent controls, destroy it. Ritual summon one Mitsurugi ritual monster from your hand by tributing monsters you control whose total levels equal or exceed its level, so this effect's probably decent. So I guess you could use this effect to tribute this guy, and it'll just summon itself back. You get to add a card too. And you kind of do that every single turn, I guess. Alright. Sacred Boundary, continuous spell. Your opponents cannot target Mitsurugi ritual monsters you control with effects of monsters that are special summoned from the extra deck. You can target 4 Mitsurugi cards in your graveyard, except for Sacred Boundary, shuffle them into the deck. Then if your opponent controls a monster, make them tribute one monster they control their choice. Okay. Spore of the Fairy Seed. If this card is special summon, you can count the number of monsters you control and have this card gain up to that many levels. Huh. If you control Ancient Fairy Dragon or a light monster of those types, and this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of this turn except for synchro monsters. There's a synchro lock. How do you special summon this? This can't special summon itself. That's jank. Free Bond the Fairy Spirit. If you control Ancient Fairy Dragon or light monster, you can special summon this card from your hand if it is treated as a tunic. Well, okay, that works, I suppose. If another card you control has Ancient Fairy Dragon or monster that mentions it would be destroyed by card effect, you can return this card you control to the hand instead. So that's how you protect yourself from a field spell, I guess. Wicked Serpent Night Dragon. You can tribute one dark monster from your hand or field special summon this card from your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. When this card is destroyed by battle, you can target one monster your opponent controls, send it to the graveyard. Then you can special summon this card. You know what? That effect's actually not that bad, is it? Wait, what? Is this not hard once per turn? Oh, I guess not. So you could summon Wicked Serpent Night Dragon, just crash it, target one monster your opponent controls, it gets sent to the graveyard, then you'd special summon this again, rinse repeat, until you run out of things to crash into. You know what? There's been worse. I mean, it's not like that absurdly great, but that's kind of neat, at least. Mitsurugi no Miko Wosu. You can special summon this card from your hand by tributing one other reptile monster from your hand and one monster your opponent controls, but you cannot special summon or activate monster effects for the rest of this turn except for reptile monsters. Oh, that's a kaiju effect. Wait, that's actually kind of good. If this card is tributed, you can discard one card, and if you add this card to your hand. Well, that's kind of annoying, isn't it? Mitsurugi Mirror, ritual spell. If this, or no, this card can be used to ritual summon any reptile ritual monster from your hand or graveyard. This can summon ritual monsters from your graveyard, huh? You must also tribute reptile monsters from your hand or field to still levels equal or exceed the level of the ritual monster. If Ame no Murakamo no Mitsurugi Futsu, Mitami no Mitsurugi, or Ame no Valkyrie no Mitsurugi you control is tributed while this card is in your graveyard, you can shuffle this card into the deck. So, the mentioning here, that this is what you can add off of pre-prep, I guess. Just having a card that can like add any ritual monster you kind of want, and or like a ritual spell as well, that's very good. And just getting put back into the graveyard. I think that this means you have a bit of a resource loop here. Where are you tributing from? And or field. Okay. Mitsurugi Great Purification. When your opponent activates a card or effect, tribute one level 5. Wait, what? Is that an Omni negate? Tribute one level 5 or higher reptile monster, negate that effect, and you do destroy that card. You can banish this card from your graveyard and target one reptile monster in your graveyard. Special summon it, and if you do, tribute one other monster you control. So you have to have some monster in your field to activate this effect, it seems. Because you have to tribute one other monster you control, and that's mandatory. Well, okay. Mitsurugi Tempest. If you have a Mitsurugi ritual spell in your graveyard, tribute 3 monsters whose original names are Ama no Murakama no Mitsurugi, Futsu no Mitami no Mitsurugi, and Ame Kiri no Mitsurugi. Make your opponent banish exactly 8 cards from their hands, extra backfield, and or graveyard. Oh wow, that's annoying, isn't it? And then you tribute the 3, and then they can search cards, and one of them will come back. Hmm. This is not like insanely insane, but it for sure feels a little bit annoying, I guess. That the card's actually maybe not that great, because you'd banish from the graveyard as well. But I mean, the card that like spooks me the hardest is probably this one at the moment. Man, target a quick play spell on your graveyard and just set it. This being a light monster, if you can imagine playing this with Bistrels, then you could Bistrels summon this, or not summon this, banish this, put this back into your extra deck, and then you can summon this again, potentially, right? Then that allows you to kind of loop some quick play spells. Yeah, not a super big fan of that. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.